Hello and welcome to the Online Trainers Podcast, where we go behind the scenes to uncover the latest tactics and strategies top trainers around the world are using to get more clients, dominate their marketplace, and get their clients amazing results. There is absolutely no fluff here. I'm your host, Lynn Trin. Hello and welcome to episode number 21 on the Online Trainers Podcast. Today's topic is how to get your clients results. And I'm really opening up a can of worms because for most personal trainers, we'd like to pride ourselves on saying, hey, we're the best trainer, we get clients results. And I remember 2 years ago when I was running my online personal training business and I was making those cold calls, I ran this huge opportunity ad, I got leads, I started calling, I was addicted to calling. Well, I wasn't really addicted, I just spent 8 hours a day on the phone because I wanted to make money to obviously have more financial freedom, right? And what happened when I was selling consistently 8 hours on the phone every single day, getting leads, because leads wasn't an issue. When you ran these huge opportunity ads, you'd be getting 50-cent dollar leads, no worries. And so a lot of the times when I sold these guys into my online personal training programs, I didn't have it set up structured, and I didn't have it structured in such a way where I could get them set up. So what I noticed was, especially when I signed up a client, what would happen is after 3 to 4 weeks, even 5, maybe if I'm lucky, 6 weeks, he'd drop off the program. And I really want to be transparent because I want you to know that you're not the only one. But I think this is a topic that not many personal trainers, business coaches will tell you about only because they want to sell you their product. And their product tells you to do this. But if you're doing your online personal training program and you have the structure set up like this, you're not going to get people results. And so what happens with that is that if you don't get people results, you don't feel good. You don't feel high in terms of your integrity. You don't feel as though you have anything valuable to offer. And you even question yourself at times to even ask yourself, can you even get people results? And I know for many times I did. Whereas when my clients were training in person or when I did the hybrid programs, I know that they would get results and they get phenomenal results. And so a lot of the times it was just that bad funnel, and it was just listening to the gurus and the business coaches telling you to get leads, call them up, make sales. They really never walked you through, the step-by-step aspects on how you can actually fulfill what systems you need in place. And especially with online coaching, you're really looking at becoming a coach. You're not just a personal trainer. And this is what I tell you about, giving a man a fish or teaching a man how to fish. It's really going and understanding, you're looking after your clients 24 hours a day. What aspects of coaching, psychology, habits, mindset can you go through to get them results? And I think for most personal trainers, having a good foundation of understanding how people are persuaded, why people do what they do, why people move towards pain and pleasure or move away from pain and into pleasure. And understanding that is really going to give you a big advantage in order to get people results, okay? But I know because I opened up this question inside the Facebook forum and there's been a good amount of people responding, and more importantly, I've had people reach out and saying, Lynn, I can't get my clients results, can you help? And I get that, and that's super, super cool. And if that's you, I want you to know that you're probably not alone. There are 80-90% of personal trainers out there, they can't get results. Ideally, we want to get results for our clients. We want to just be able to give them the training program and nutrition program, and in a perfect world, they would do it and they would get phenomenal results. They'd just cut their calories, they'd eat less, and they'd exercise, right? That's in a perfect world. When you become a really good coach and ultimately, look, if you can't get your clients results online, you're going to feel resistant to selling your program because you feel at a subconscious level that you're selling a scam. Okay, that's the way I like to look at it. And that's what I fell into. I'm great at sales. I'm great at getting people results, but I didn't have the systems and infrastructure and the knowledge to get people results online. So being me, I kind of felt down and I felt in the dumps and I felt like, man, this isn't worth it. I feel like I'm just a salesperson now and I can't even get them results. And I was losing motivation because when you don't see your clients getting results and they're paying you $1,000 and then they're dropping out, it doesn't really feel good. For anybody that's done this, you don't feel good. You wish you could get them results, but you're not going to stay in the game for a long time. There's no legacy to be built upon this kind of system. All right, now I hope you're following along with me, because if you are, this is great, because how did I really begin to turn it around? And the first step was, understanding the psychology, understanding why clients do what they do. Why do they buy? What are their hopes, desires, and dreams? What are the obstacles that are standing in their way? What are some of their habits now that you might be able to change? And if you did change it, It could be getting up earlier. It could be skipping breakfast. You have to almost think holistically and outside the box. You have to forget what you learn inside those lectures and those courses, that super high level athletic stuff. And you have to really come back to terms with, okay, how can you make your client's life easier? How can you get them from point A, where they currently are, to point B without dragging them through the mud? Okay, because ultimately you're the GPS. You'd be pretty pissed off if you wanted to get to a destination and you were told to take 1,000,000 turns, okay, whereas you could have just gone straight. So what you need to understand is there are 100,000 different ways to get to a destination. And so what you need to understand is you need to make it easier for your clients, okay, and start off with small habits. And that's really one of the psychological benefits of studying mindset and really getting to know your mindset and understanding mindset is that you become more self-aware. Okay. And the first thing is, if you don't know mindset, look into some coaching courses, look into some Tony Robbins, some DeMartini, some Bob Proctor. They really talk about why you do what you do, which a lot of the time, this success game is mindset. Okay. The second thing is then secondly, having the systems, using things like social pressure, using things like group challenges, using things like a start and an end date, scarcity. That if somebody only had 10 days to get a result, they would take action to get results in 10 days, or putting a timeline on things. Now, I know a lot of times, especially when you're doing one-to-one coaching, it feels like an open loop. It never ends. This client signed on and they're just signed on month to month. They're never going to get results because they know they don't have a deadline. They're not kept accountable. They're not measured. Their progress isn't measured week by week. So if you can give someone a deadline and you can say, these are the things, if you can sit down with someone and especially your clients and map out a roadmap, get them from point A to point B, these are the skills that they're going to need to acquire along the way. I like to say this, if you're trying to build a business, these are the skills that you're going to need to acquire to get to point B, because when you arrive to point B, you're going to be a different person than you are to point A, okay? The skills that you're going to possess, mindset, lead generation, sales. And so for your clients, what skills do they have to possess along the way in order to become that 10% body fat, that lean athletic guy? Okay, you have to think about what they have. They have their foundations. They have at least 3 times a week of training, and you work them into that. And the other thing is, this is why I love launching online courses and programs. And I call this the flagship program, because if you can get 30 guys starting an 8-week transformation challenge, an 8-week transformation program, you can educate them week by week and they can run off the energy and feed off each other. They're no longer using just yourself, because when you train clients one-to-one, it's you and your client looks at you as you're up there, and your client has no ability to understand because he's like, well, Lynn's completely different. He's just ripped all the time. I wish I was ripped all the time, but that's what your clients are thinking. Whereas if your clients are surrounded by other people that post up photos and videos of themselves and you build up that community, you can then start to get them to believe in themselves. And most of the time, your clients, the reasons why they don't get results is because they don't believe they can get there. Okay. Once again, this goes back into mindset. So a lot of the times, a lot of people ask, Lynn, well, why are you learning so much in mindset? Why did you join Tony Robbins? Why are you immersing yourself? And the truth is, I want to understand why people do what they do. I want to understand how to get people to follow through. I want to be able to impact your life so that I can get you to follow through. I want to be able to show you how you can get your clients to follow through, because if they do, they're going to get results. And you know that the results only happen when people follow through. So the question I have for you today, and really I want you to think deep about this, is how can you get your clients to follow through? How can you make their life easier? How can you make their life simpler? Think about who they're surrounding themselves by. Things like changing their environment, and things like if you hang around with thieves, you're going to be a thief. If you lie with the dogs, you're going to get fleas. These kind of cliches are real, right? If you hang out with successful, really rich people, you will become successful. And there's no doubt about that. So for your clients, can you change their environment to get them hanging out with better people? And if you can, you're going to change. And so environment plays a big role. And this almost intertwines with resistance. And I can almost call this part 2 of resistance. But I want you to think about how in your business at this very moment in time are you making it easier for your clients? How can you use social pressure? How can you use group camaraderie? How can you use timing, okay, and scarcity? How can you use pain and pleasure, using the carrot and the stick? So if they do it, they get this. If they don't do it, they pay another teammate $5, or they pay you $5 extra. and that goes into the kiddie bank, or it goes to charity, or whatever it goes. But there has to be rewards and consequences. Otherwise, there's no reason for people to change. And that's what I really want you to become, because I want you to become a better coach. Because if I know that if you get your clients results, you're going to want to sell more, because now you have this. And I say this a lot of times, if you know you can change someone's life, it's on you to go out there and spread your message and your product and your service to as many people as possible. The truth is though, most personal trainers can't, because most personal trainers are sending out diet and training programs. And you know what? As much as that works inside a gym, because inside a gym, you already have the most motivated people there. They've signed in, they've contracted, and they're rocking up to the gym. So you're really getting the cream of the crop. And so it becomes easy to train the people with the cream of the crop. Okay. And that's why you get them results. And that's easy. If you want to go in and make a big difference and make a splash, it's time to learn about what motivates, what drives people, what inspires people, what causes them to take action, what causes them to follow through. And if you can do that, you will change the world. It's the game changer for your business. And that's how I want you to start thinking about operating. If you want to get your clients results, if you want to make more money. Because here's the thing, if you get your clients results, that sales process, you know for certain you can change somebody else's life. You have no doubt about that. That person can feel the certainty. You're not going to have to use so much objection handling, NLP techniques, these salesy tactics. You just have that certainty. Okay. And that's what I want to give to you today. So go away and think about how you can use this inside your business to help your clients get results. Okay. And have a listen to things that I do in terms of everything that I do. I kind of think about it strategically. I kind of think, okay, is more information what you need, or do you need more actionable steps to implement? And more so, how can I get you to implement? So if you notice these podcasts, they're driven back down to one actionable step per day. Okay. And it might be too much for you. One per day might be too much. But all I want you to do is, if you can spend 5 minutes, 10 minutes listening to these podcasts, taking 5 minutes out to do the task, your business will transform phenomenally. And that's what I want for you to do, because I want to help you build your legacy. Alright, if you enjoyed this podcast, please leave me a 5-star review on iTunes, and feel free to leave a review, and that way I can respond and I can take that on board in developing content to serve you. Now, if you're not a part of the Online Trainers Club on Facebook, please do yourself a favor and be a part of the conversation. That's where I add daily tips, tricks, and strategies on how you can build out funnels, how you can get more clients, and ultimately become a better online coach. Thank you for listening.